Well, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for another episode of What's Going On here at SWAGHer, where we share what's going on. Today,
Yeah.
we welcome Dr. Kerline, a board certified ocular eye surgeon and physician. So, we're going to get right on into it. Dr.
Yes.
Kerline, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How about you? How are you doing?
It's Monday, so I'll keep rolling with the punches.
All right. I like that.
So, getting right into it, what makes Kerline, Dr. Kerline, or Kerline, because it's different levels to that, what makes you you?
I would say, as terms of what makes me me, is that I guess people who know me know that I am very, very real. I keep it real. I enjoy people a lot, and I find that I'm very good with connecting with others. And in connecting with them, not only am I able to sort of bring my personality and bring that, I sort of do it with a lot of fun, a lot of humor, and I just try to be like just to be able to reach out and just make it comfortable. Sometimes when people are around doctors, they get a little nervous, and I just try to let all that stuff just sort of settle down and just make it so that I can approach you and that you can enjoy yourself and feel free to ask me what you need to.
Yeah. It definitely can be nervous. I mean, going to a doctor, you never know what you're going to hear. And you want to hear good stuff, but the truth is sometimes we may hear something that's not as good, but when we share what it is, you can kind of help us to get it back on track if possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's really, really important. And I think knowing your patients or knowing, trying to get to know that person is the way that you have the ability to reach them. It can't be boilerplate. You
Mm-hmm.
have to like get an idea, assess what kind of approach is better for them and just sort of figure out what's important to them so that you can better help them.
Very nice, very nice. Now, what made you go into medicine?
All right. So I've wanted to be a doctor ever since the sixth grade. My mom was a nurse's aide, and she would talk about helping people at the hospital. And I just had dreams of being able to help and have something that was sort of prestigious. And as a young Black girl, I didn't have a whole lot of role models, but I was very, very lucky along my journey that nobody dissuaded me or said, hey, you can't do this. Now there's more role models, so it's a little more easier.
Mm-hmm.
But I had that idea and I had that dream, and I just can't tell you how happy I am to be in that position of, you know, have come to the realization and come to this place because this
Mm-hmm.
is just by God's good grace, honestly.
Very nice, very nice. Now, this is a bonus question. Was there ever any other field that you thought of going into, or was it like just solely medicine?
Okay, so there was never any other field because when I get laser focused, that's something that ever since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I did start out wanting to be, believe it or not, a psychiatrist.
Okay.
That's how I started out and I majored in neurobiology, neuropsychology, and that was just based upon my passion of wanting to connect with others and help them and
Mm-hmm.
listen to them. And once I went to medical school, I realized that maybe psychology probably would be a lot more because
Mm-hmm.
psychiatry is more medications, and I just wanted to have that ability to connect with others. And then I liked OBGYN for a little bit because that sounded like a very cheerful area of medicine. And then when I was in medical school, I had the opportunity to go on some medical missions.
Okay.
Let me tell you, there's nothing better than being able to see people not be able to see and then have surgery and then they have their vision restored and they're crying and they're able to see their family's faces for the
Yeah.
first time in a long time. That touches you so deep that I was like, this is happiness. This is where I want to be.
Very nice, very nice. I heard you sharing like, your inspiration to get into this field. And ironically, this weekend I was talking to some young ladies and they want to go into the medical field, right? So one, you are opening up a path to encourage others that look like you to say, I can do it too. But the one thing that they're scared of is the requirements of the education piece. What words of encouragement would you give to those that see you and say, I want to do it, but can I do it? Should I do it?
I'm going to tell you, just like with anything, it's one day at a time. It's a journey, and you
Mhm.
can't look at it in terms of, oh my gosh, there's all this work. You just start that one step in front of the other. And the most important thing in doing that is connecting with a mentor. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need to have people, just like myself, I had to stand on shoulders, and now I'm ready for people to stand on my shoulders. Right. But you need somebody who can like be your boost along the way and sort of like validate you along the way. But you cannot look at the long term at the end, because that is scary when you think about it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pass this on to them because that's how I was sharing too. Like but to be able to see somebody that has gone through it, it has a different look. Like I didn't have to go to school that long for what I went to school for,
Yeah.
but the rewards that you have for how you glow, and as you talk about it, shows that it was worth it. It paid off, and you feel like you make the best decision. And I want that for them too.
Oh, absolutely. I love mentoring. So you saw my bio. I'm a clinical assistant professor, and I've been mentoring young people for over 20 years now. I mean, sometimes I do it mostly focused on ophthalmology, but anybody who knows me knows that I love talking and giving advice. I'm always good for some advice.
Gotcha.
So feel free to have them, call me, and I'm good with connecting people too.
Awesome. Good to hear. And they just graduated, so go class of 2024. So you've been practicing, you said over 20 years just now with this experience. Go you. How has it been with the ocular eye surgeon, that part of it? Because it's a physician and eye surgeon, which is two different things, right?
Well, the nice thing, one of the things that I enjoyed about ophthalmology as well as OBGYN when I was thinking about it, was that you're able to see the person in the office, take care of, medical diseases or, whatever they have. And then you're the person who sees them all the way through, because then you're the one who's going to give them the medications, make the diagnosis, fix them in the OR. So you get to have surgery and you get to follow that. And when you're going in to do the surgery, you know exactly where the problem was and where it lied. And then afterwards, guess what? The person comes right back to you. And now you're the one who has to deal with the surgery and all that other stuff. So I like that, having that person as a whole. So that's enjoyable. And I love to do things with my hands.
I will say, as you said that it gave like an easiness, because it's nothing like having one doctor that can do all the different things. Because if you have one doctor and they have to explain it to another doctor, they kind of get it. It's like that whisper game. You're hoping that they understood everything you said, but because you're the person, you clearly know what it is that you're doing. You may like outsource for support and things they serve, but you clearly know what you're doing and you follow them through their process. So that puts me at ease. I hope it puts your patients at ease.
It does. And I'm not saying that I have the answer to everything, believe me.
Right. I get
it. Takes a village. I have collaborators, if I have to send somebody for a referral or something like that, I'm very, very open with, not everything has to land on me. I'm humbled by that. But I just love that, having the person, seeing them all the way through, and then all of a sudden have a family member, and now I know you and I know your aunt, and that whole community aspect, I just love it.
I love it too. I felt it. It was really nice.
Yeah.
So you have a private practice, two private practices.
Mm-hmm.
What distinguishes the services that you offer within those two private practices to encourage those that are listening to say, let me go see Dr. K?
Okay. All right. So I have a practice. I actually bought this practice maybe about 12 years ago. It was very, very different. He was a different doctor than myself. Okay. I'm like a Black woman. He was a white male. Right. And I bought this practice, and it's been about 2010. So now we're 14 years later, and it's really, really blossomed, and I'm still on my own. So that's like very different, because a lot of other doctors are sort of working for others. So I love that, because I can really be true to my own vision. And I bring myself to the practice, and I think my patients, they know that the buck stops right here, right? And if they have a problem, or if there's something that they're not excited about, guess what? I'm the one to solve it, right? And I think that accessibility makes a big difference. We know our people, we can call them by their names. We're one layer away from answering the phone. It's just a nice, like when you come in here, even our new patients, they say like, I feel the warmth. And I think now, where there's a lot of corporatization, especially of medicine, where you come in and you're like, a number, right? Here, my front desk person will know who you are. They spoke to you on the phone. You're coming in. I'm taking care of you. If you have a problem, you call up. My tech comes to me and says, "Remember Mrs. Johnson? She was here." Oh yeah, it's just It's just that sort of feeling that people, that people get, that we care about them, and that we're taking care of them, right? And I think that's what we bring, and that's what we lend, and that's in ophthalmology. And now I've added the aesthetics, the beauty portion, the cosmetics to it, which makes it even, oh, I love that. I can't even tell you, because with the ophthalmology, there's a certain amount of patients that I have to see, and with the aesthetics, I get to just like, they get to put their hair down, I get to put my hair down. We have a lot more time to really delve. When somebody comes in and wants a service, I don't just say, okay, what do you want? All right, this is what I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to find out, first of all, because we're a medical spa, I want to make sure that medically I'm doing the right thing by you. So I'm going to run through your medical history, I'm going to run through allergies, I'm going to run through all that stuff, get all of that stuff. Let's make sure this is safe for you, right? Because safety is very, very important to me. And then after that, I'm going to get into, this is where the psychiatry comes in, because I'm going to want to know what motivated you and why are you doing this? Sometimes I get some young people, really, really young, and they may want something, and maybe they're early 20s. And I'm like, listen, you're fine. You don't need this. Here's some products. See you later, right? You don't need a procedure, right? And sort of being able to connect, to find out, because I'm dealing with people, when I'm dealing with aesthetics, I'm dealing with your confidence. So how do I deal with your confidence without knowing who you are as an individual, right? So that's sort of where that comes in, and we get to talk and all that stuff, and then hopefully we can create, or whatever you're looking for, I'll be able to give it to you. And if I can't, I'll just say, hey, I can't, but this is my suggestions, and that kind of thing.
That's pretty big. That confidence piece, right? Because it's the psychology part. It takes a while for us to have this thought of ourselves, right? Then we come and like, this is what I want to change. I want to. However, when we make that change, when you can't go back, it'll never be the same. And that's good that you talk through the process with them, or offer them other options so that they don't have to go first to this. They have other options to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes people will say, I want this, but I don't want this, this, and this. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, let me see what's in my armamentarium that's going to make you feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, aesthetics is a little different. It's optional, right?
Mhm.
People have to understand you're beautiful in your own right.
Yeah.
But let's see, if you want to enhance that, what can we do that's in my toolbox of all the medical things that we can do?
Right. And just a plug, it's always good to go to some professionals that know how to do what it is that you want done. Because sadly, we've heard stories of those that went to somebody who alleged to be professional, wasn't professional, and then other situations happen. So when someone is seeking your services, what are some questions they maybe should ask to make sure they're going to somebody that is reputable?
Okay, so I think the most important thing, there's a couple of things that's important. Number one, what is their credential? Like, what are the letters behind their name? Is it RN? Is it NP, nurse practitioner? Is it like MD? What are those letters, right? Where did they train, right? What kind of institutions? Have you heard of these places before? I think that's really, really important as well. And I think if you have a location, is very important. Some people, they take their degree, but they want to do this in their basement, or they want to do this and get a booth, in the beauty salon. And that's not what you want, right? You want someone who has an established place. If something goes wrong, you're going to go right back to that place. They're not going anywhere, right? They have staffing that's there to support them, that if there's a question, or if there's something, there's somebody who can make the phone call to the pharmacy. There's someone who can answer those questions. And then at the end of the day, the buck stops right here with myself. And a person who has malpractice insurance, right? Because sometimes things happen, right? Who's going to be accountable to that, right? So, the nice thing I find is that there's legitimacy to what I do, because I have an institution, I have malpractice insurance, I have, that I'm not trying to do anything that's to harm you. And as a physician, the first thing that we learn is do no harm, right? The other professionals are not, don't tried by that, but we have to take a vow to do that. And, we know about sickness. So this is not about sickness. So we keep it real.
Right.
Like, let's put it in perspective.
Very nice. Very nice. So friends, do your research. I know they got a sale going on or whatever it is they say, but do your research, please. Because I don't want anything to happen to you. I want you to go to somebody that's reputable. So thank you for sharing that, because it's really important for us to know how to find somebody. It's like somebody working on your car. You want to find the right person, because if not, you're gonna have more trouble. So that's why it's so important to really go to that person that's qualified, certified.
And also there's like, there's been a couple of Botox counterfeit scares and things.
Mm-hmm.
We do have people who do call, and the first thing you ask about is how much per unit is the Botox.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but that's not what you really want to ask, because anybody can make those units low,
Mm-hmm.
right? Number one, if it's counterfeit, they can make it low.
Mm-hmm.
They can dilute it, it could be low. It could be expired, it could be low, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to devalue yourself by looking for, that bottom line deal, because you shouldn't be treating yourself like bottom line.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I like it. So I love it. You can tell that you enjoy what it is that you're doing. What would you say is the favorite, like your most favorite of what it is that you do?
That's a good question. Well, I think I am ophthalmology, eye surgery, clinical assistant professor, and the aesthetics. The favorite is anything where I'm dealing or I'm interacting with someone and able to help and connect with them, whatever that is. If it's a resident in the clinic that has a problem and maybe having a problem with a diagnosis, or maybe they want for me to look at their contract because they're looking at some new job that we want to make sure that they're protected and they're safe, or whether it's my patients, it's however I can connect and however I can help. Sometimes a person comes for an eye exam and then I'll say, how are you? Because that's how I always start off. And if they say my dog died, well, I'm not going to say, well, put your head right here. Let's, do this. I'm going to connect with you in that way. So I just love that connection and helping.
I like it. I also like the relationship building, because that means the world a difference. You ask them because they care about me. Now I can kind of get this off my chest and then fully be present for the rest of the stuff we're doing in this appointment.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I do have a question. When I was asking you your favorite part, you were saying some words, and all of us are not in the medical field. So could you just break it down a little bit more, so we clearly know what those big words are, and why we need your services?
Okay, so I'm an ophthalmologist, which is a doctor that goes to college, and then 4 years of medical school, and then after the 4 years of medical school, does a residency. I happen to also be fellowship trained in glaucoma, which is like the number one cause of blindness in Blacks. So that was a thing that was very dear to my heart. So you have that aspect. Because I'm an ophthalmologist, that makes us physicians and surgeons. So I'm also, doing glaucoma surgery, cataract surgery, all kinds of, eye surgeries to restore and help your vision. But with that, I'm also a clinical assistant professor, because after I graduated from my institutions, I felt like I wanted to be helpful, and I wanted people to see, our faces there as well. And, and women, minorities, or anything. I wanted to be there, right, to represent and things like that. So I love that, because as you can see, I like to talk. So if you like to talk, being a teacher is the best thing for you, right? Yeah. So I've been doing that, and the medical missions. That sort of, I started out being interested because of medical missions, and then there was a period of time where I was going to the Caribbean, especially to Haiti, and I was doing some medical missions with cataract surgery to restore visual health of those of our neighbors around us, our neighbors and the global neighbors, and then now the aesthetics is like I'm an empty nester now, so now I have time to have a little more fun with it and be more creative in that. So those are like all the different things that I'm lending to.
Okay. Got you. So you said you do a piece of helping to restore vision, and you mentioned that glaucoma and cardiac. I'm sorry. Yep. Cataracts. And how it's pretty popular in certain communities. Are there anything is there anything people could do to prevent those things from happening, or what's the first time where they need to really get to you to get it addressed?
So, okay, cataracts is a process of aging, so there's not really that much you can do, right?
Okay,
As long as you're living on the earth, you're at risk for a cataract, right?
gotcha.
So that's just, like getting your wisdom teeth. It's just going to be one of those things. But the best part about it is that it's going to restore your vision, because at some point your lenses get cloudy and then
Mhm.
you're not able to see very well. And then now this is a surgery, which is a positive surgery, because it's not fixing a disease. It's more of like giving you something back.
Okay.
Okay. So that's that. Glaucoma is another situation. That is a disease that can cause irreversible blindness. It has no signs, it has no symptoms.
Mhm.
It affects your peripheral vision working its way in. So most of the time, by the time they realize that they have it, it's a little too late. So
Mhm.
I would say, if I had to say one thing that's really, really important, is you need to get yourself checked out. Okay. It's very, very important. People wait until they have signs or symptoms, or if I
Mhm.
send letters, sort of say, okay, it's time for you to come in. People are like, well, I don't have any problems. Well, that's the time when you want to go see the doctor, not when you have problems. You
Yeah.
know, the doctor doesn't even want to deal when there's so many problems, right? Get into, we're in 2024 now. It's about prevention. It's about maintenance. It's about coming in, and when we see a hint of there's a problem, let's nip that in the bud, so you don't even have to be experiencing a problem, right? So, our body gives us signs and symptoms, but sometimes our body, when they're giving you a sign and symptom, is them tapping you on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
to wait for that tap. Just go in, get yourself checked, and feel happy that, I got myself checked. I'm feeling great, whatever. And encourage those of you who are doing that already, encourage your
Mhm.
friends
Mhm.
and family to do that, because it can be scary, because people don't like to
Mhm.
hear bad news. But I always say, you know what? It can't be that bad if you came in and you didn't even know you had a problem,
True, true. I think it
right?
goes back to what we were saying earlier of like people being afraid to go to the doctor because again they're not sure what they'll hear. But I hope that today's conversation really helps you to debunk that, to know just go, get checked out, make sure everything is good. It's better to have a clean bill of health than to have a bad bill. And I know you have a bad bill because if you don't know you got a bad bill, you're not doing anything to help to get things in order and in line. So I like that. Please, 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 just go to the doctor. If you haven't been for your eye exam, go. If you haven't been for your physical, go. If you haven't been to the dentist, go. If you haven't been for that little crook in the knee, go. Whatever it is,
Yes, it's so true.
it's so important for us to just go. And it can get worse if we're not addressing it, right? Depending on what it is sometimes. So if we feel something and we feel it's off, they do like that little grid of why you should go to urgent care, why you should go to the emergency room, or why you should go to your doctor. Look at it, because if you go to WebDM, then you might be dying. They don't know
So
how to diagnose
true.
this because they don't know the real things that's going on. So you have to go and get checked out. I like
I
that.
find that those things like LibMD and things, they're very helpful for after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Me
Mm-hmm.
now, like, don't go on that too much in the beginning, because that's going to get you scared, and all kinds of things are going to
Yeah.
be in your head.
Yeah.
Once you've been told this is what you have, now you can sort of use your resources to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
embellish that information and things like that. But beforehand, don't you'll be diagnosing yourself with cancer, and it's not that serious.
And it's not that serious. I can't tell you how many times I have diagnosed myself because Wellman D had all the symptoms. I'm like, this is what it is. And it was like, Jeff, you just got sinuses. Oh, I'm going to take my allergy pill. But
Yeah,
guess what? We go from 1 to 1,000. And the doctor could have kept us at that 1, maybe 5, 10, depending on what's going on.
absolutely, absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So you shared what your favorite part is. You shared how you got into this field. Um, where are you located and how can people get connected with your services?
So I'm in northern Westchester. I've been here for over 20 something years. I don't want to get into my age, but it's been a long time. So I'm in northern Westchester in Cortland Manor, which is right next to Yorktown. And we're right off of Main Street, and very accessible. I mean, we have patients that come from really all over, a lot of Westchester, but a lot of Rockland, Dutchess. And, I do have people who, when they retire and they move away, guess where they're coming? They still come to see me, right? Because, of that, having somebody who really knows you, and things like that. So that's where we're located. And yeah.
I like it. I like it. Friends, you can definitely Google Dr. Kerline. She will come up so that you can get this support and services. Another one we didn't talk about, I had a friend, she went to the eye doctor and they were able to see different things, which is powerful that you can see so many different things by just looking in the eye. But we also talked, she shared about like diabetic. Sometimes, how does that affect your vision? Is that something?
Yes. So with diabetes, it's very important that you get yourself checked out, because you can have diabetes inside your eyes where you have leaky blood vessels, or
Mm-hmm.
fluid leaking out of your blood vessels, or blood leaking out of your blood vessels, and you may not even notice it, right? And if that gets carried away, then that could be a disaster. Like if you let it go too long. So it's really, really important with diabetes, or with any of these major illnesses, hypertension, all of these things, that you get yourself, autoimmune diseases,
Mm-hmm.
that you get yourself checked out. And then when you don't have a disease and everything's all great, then if you want to just enhance your life, if you want to you know doll yourself up, or if there's any concerns, or we do a lot of things with our aesthetics in terms of just sitting down with our patients. And I just want to make sure that I clarify, the aesthetics that I'm doing is in office, right?
Okay.
And because I'm going to go to the OR, but I want to go to the OR for my eyes, right?
Okay.
Here it's just more for people for maintenance that want to know about their skin. So we do this facial analysis where we look at your skin, we get AI, right? So not only am I giving my opinion, but we got a third party, objective third party, that will talk about things like your skin texture and hydration and damage by UV damage, those kind of things. And then after I get all that information, we could be talking about how to maintain you, right? And what's the best products? Because, Lord knows we have so many products sitting on our shelves that we don't even need, right? And you're just a target when you go to some of these places. So knowing exactly what your problem is, what you need, and, if we could best help you and with our products, that's fine. If we can't, then why don't we just make sure that you're looking for ingredients instead of names?
Mm-hmm.
People are like, oh, I use L'Oreal. Well, L'Oreal what? What
Right.
do you use L'Oreal? What is, vitamin C, retinol, is it medical grade, all these type of things. And then of course the other things that we can do, procedures like radio frequency microneedling and Botox and fillers and chemical peels, which is great. All these types.
Oh, you did a double, because that was about to be my second question,
Yeah,
what they really look like. Because I do know people that have done chemical pills when you want to stay in the house because the process that it goes through, but also going to a professional, because sometimes it may or may not mix with our skin elements and things. So that's good to be able to have someone to go to, because like sometimes your pores, or you just feel like it's not what you want it to be, but being able to talk to you. And I like, again, that before you're going to extremes, I don't want to say extremes, but the second step, the first step is like, or the third step. The first step is like finding out what's going on. The second step is let's try these natural pieces before we go to these other pieces. So I appreciate that. That's pretty cool.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because our skin is something. I mean, we're doing fine and then you break out, it's like, what is this? What's going on? Or it's a mole or whatever it is. You never know. So being able to have your expertise to help figure out what's going on is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Very excited about that part.
Yes, I like this. Is there anything else you want to share?
No, I really have enjoyed this interview. And I think the part that I really enjoyed is when you were talking about having young people who are looking to, better themselves, and what is the pathway, because I think sometimes we can get lost in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say I feel very, very, very lucky, and very blessed to be where I am here. And I never thought I'd have two businesses. I think I told you I'm first generation. My
Mm-hmm.
parents were from Haiti. I was born here. And if I can do anything to help, whether it's help you in your journey as being a professional, help you in, with your eyes, help you with your skin, whatever it is, that's, I love it.
And I thank you for that, because a lot of times people, for lack of better words, arrive, but then forget about helping somebody else and stuff. And it's nice when you're like, look, I just want everybody to win because
Yes.
it's not going to me because I can help you. I can refer you to who can help you because though we can help everybody, we still don't connect or link up with everybody. But us telling one person helps somebody else to find out, helps somebody else to find out. And now the world knows, let me go see what I need to see about my skin. Let me go see what I need to see about my eyes. Let me just have a conversation because, today was rough. Okay,
Yeah.
now we can talk about, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. This was very good. I thank you so much for your openness to share and to help the upcoming generation, how you are helping those currently as it relates to their medical. So yeah, keep on shining all your awards, accolades, 20 plus years. We're just going to say you 21, okay?
I love that. I love that.
Plus some. They don't have to know how many plus.
Yeah, no, they really don't need to know how much.
But the dope part is that you have really studied to show yourself approved to be able to show, look, I know what it is I'm doing. I want the best for you. And that's what causes a business to thrive so many years, right? If you weren't doing great, it might have been a different number, right? But to say 20, that means you've been doing something that's been making an impact in your community. So I encourage you to keep on going. Thank you for stepping out and saying, yes, I'm going to go into the medical field. A little piece of psychology comes in because you talk and help people process. But I think it's a good balance of being able to help those that are going through from day to day.
Thank you. Thank you. This has been fun. This is really good.
Yes. Very, very good. I thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to share this good information. Be sure to reach out to Dr. Kerline if you have any questions or if you're in the area and you want to get checked out. She can make a referral for you. Just give her a call, give her a ring, drop a DM, whatever to connect because you won't be disappointed. And again, we go before we know anything. That way we can stay ahead of anything. So y'all be sure. Yes. Y'all be sure to follow SWAGHer because we're always sharing about what's going on, something amazing in the community, some amazing people in the community doing some great things. So y'all, please, please, please continue to be on the lookout because we're always going to share what's going on to help you keep going on. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.